Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon, and here we play Jank. And so I want to go over today the Spidops deck. Spidops is what I originally wanted to take to the Portland Regionals. However, in building the Dondozo deck for my wife, I really love that deck. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, I think. Plus, I had to order some cards there. For Dondozo for my wife to play with physical cards, and it turns out that I would have to order Spidops like a few days ago in order for it to arrive in time for Portland Regionals, and I don't have a list that I am ready to take to Portland Regionals with. Dondozo I feel like is a good list. We'll see how that goes. But Spidops I feel like needs a little bit of work, and I've got some jank in here that I really like, so it's hard to let go. So I'm going to show you Spidops, and maybe, possibly, if the reception is good enough, soon enough, I might switch? I don't know. I'm not sold, but let's go over the deck, right? So it all revolves around Spidops EX, one of the new cards from Scarlet and Violet. And Spidops EX has 260 HP. As a stage 1, that's pretty good. And then it has the ability Trap Territory. Your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost is 1 colorless more. So it increases your opponent's retreat cost, which makes it more difficult for them to get the Pokemon they want into the active, get something bad out, or in the case of a Lost Zone engine, makes it harder for them to retreat Comfies into attackers, as you are just making their retreat cost that little bit more, so possibly making them a little less consistent. But then, on top of all that, you have this amazing 2 energy attack, I think it's amazing, 2 energy attack, Wire Hang. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost, doing more damage depending on your opponent's Pokemon's retreat cost. We've seen this before. Leafeon VMAX, which a lot of people partner with Spidops, does more damage depending on how much their retreat cost is. And I was like, you know what? I think Leafeon VMAX is just asking for a little bit too much. I think mixing in Leafeon VMAX and Spidops is just asking that little bit too much. I'm going to go a simpler route and only focus on Spidops as an attacker. He is the attacker. It is the attacker. It is a bench sitter for the one that's attacking. Like, it's all very interesting. Because the Trap Territory ability stacks, so the more Spidops you have, the higher retreat cost your opponent has. Wire Hang also doing a minimum of 90, I thought was really good, even though it only increases by 30. Comparatively to the Leafeon VMAX, which does not really do a base amount of damage. It's just 60, right? Let's pull it up just to make sure that I am thinking correctly. Yeah, it is just 60 for each energy in their retreat cost, where Spidops is a base 90, then 30 more. So, like, I understand Leafeon can do more damage, but do you have to do that much more damage? When I was building this, I was really comparing it to Lugia V-Star, and Lugia V-Star has 2 retreat costs. And then you add 4 more for having 4 Spidops in there. You have a 6 retreat cost, on Lugia V-Star. I thought that was pretty good. With 6, you are doing, let's quickly do the math here, 30 times 3 times 6 is 18, so 180 plus 90, you're looking at 270. You are just missing the KO. So obviously I'm playing Choice Belt in here. We've got, how many copies? 4 copies. Yeah, a full 4 copies. And, that is going to make up the last bit of difference. The beautiful part about that is there's a very popular card, we even play it here, Vigor Energy, which means your Pokemon take 30 less damage from Pokemon V. Spidops EX is not a Pokemon V, so V-Guard Energy does not protect from Spidops. So I felt like we were in a pretty good position with Spidops. Again, I can't make the deck get to the point where I feel confident taking it to Portland. I'm going to be taking Dondozo. So let's just play out the rest of this week with this Spidops deck that I made. So the 4 copies of Spidops EX that we already went over, right? We understand the basics of that. It's got to evolve from these 4 Tarountula. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hopefully one of those was correct. And I picked the one with 60 HP that for a single energy does 30 damage, but you flip a coin and if tails it does nothing. Yeah, kind of difficult, but that 1 energy attack is really where, and the 60 HP is really where I focused in on this one in particular, rather than the 40 HP ones I've seen. So we got 4 of those. And for a draw engine, we are using Bibarel. Just a 2-2 line, the 2 Bidoof with the obviously carefree countenance ability, and the 2 Bibarel with the industrious incisors to draw up until you have 5 cards in hand. And then threw in 1 copy of Manaphy because sometimes you hit Urshifu that I wasn't expecting, and did that a few too many times and was like, okay, Manaphy, there, I'll protect my bench. I feel like Manaphy's not as important moving forward, but, you know, make up your own list and let me know. And then for that little bit of extra spice here, I went with Ariados for the Hidden Threads ability that increases your opponent's Pokemon V-Star's attacks by 1 colorless energy. I thought this was an interesting ability because Spidops is increasing their retreat cost, and then Ariados would be increasing their attack cost, and mess with their numbers just that little bit to, you know, slow them down so that we can take advantage. I've also tried removing this line. It doesn't seem to change much with it in or with it out, but this is a 1/1 slot that could be turned into a Leafeon VMAX if you still want to go that route. And so for energy, we looked a little bit at this. We play 6 grass energy and 3 V-Guard energy. The 3 V-Guard energy is to help Spidops survive a little bit. Spidops has 260 HP, which isn't bad, but Gardenia V-Star can 1-hit KO it, doing 280 damage. So with a V-Guard energy, that actually comes down to 250 damage and survives. Unless I'm forgetting something about Gardenia V-Star. No. I knew there was text. I was making sure it wasn't like ignore effects or something. No, it's discard 2. Nice. Man, my brain is just not functioning right now. So we've got 6 basic grass energy. Why do we have 6 basic grass energy? And that's really because we are playing Gardenia's Vigor to accelerate energy. I know the draw 2 cards is not very exciting in Gardenia's Vigor, but it's just a nice bonus. We are mostly playing it to accelerate grass energy onto our rule box Spidops EX cards. It can attach up to 2 grass energy cards from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. So sadly, Gardenia's Vigor is missing that small piece of it can't attach to 2 separate ones, so then you can come with the V-Guard energy. You can attach 1-to-1 with Vigor or 2-to-1, but it's only attaching to the 1 card, which is where Gardenia's Vigor kind of falls off for most people. But with the Bibarel engine, I felt like Gardenia's Vigor was a nice way to accelerate that energy, and you got draw with Bibarel, you know? So there you go. And then, let's see. You might be surprised by the lack of Professor's research in this deck. This is something that you'll see more from me going forward, is the lack of Professor's research. I love the card. The card is super powerful. But sometimes discarding cards is just too high of a price. And you'll see this more and more with big evolution Pokemon. they're going to be struggling to discard a bunch of cards just to draw a bunch of cards. You know, decks that are relying off of rare candy. Idea for a future video. Maybe it'll be Wednesdays. I don't know. But Professor Research, I am trying to build without in order to make it a little bit easier to build these jank-filled decks, you know? So, instead, we are playing 3 copies of Shauna. I like Shauna. You can play Youngster instead. Either way. We've got 2 copies of Miriam to recover Pokemon. I like the Pokemon recovery in this. And then you draw 3 cards. That's a nice bonus. It was either this or Clara, and I went Miriam because I felt like drawing cards was important enough to the deck that I would rather have that than Clara, especially since you're relying on the V-Guard energy. You're not taking full advantage of grabbing 2 energy. Usually you're just grabbing the 1, and the V-Guard energy stays in the discard, sadly. So, yeah, I went Miriam. We also played 2 copies of Energy Retrieval. As stated before, since we're not playing Clara, we need some sort of Energy Retrieval. Only 6 grass energy. And Energy Retrieval gets us 2 into the hand, then we can Gardenia's Vigor those 2 energy onto the field and be ready to go. We played 2 copies of Escape Rope because sometimes we get stuff stuck in the active we don't want. We got 3 copies of Trekking Shoes so that we can move a little bit faster. I believe this was 4 copies before I added the Manaphy. Took 1 copy of Trekking Shoes out for that 1 copy of Manaphy. We got 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball. It's real rough when you have prized Pokemon. Since this is a Stage 1 deck, a lot of Stage 1s in here, just about everything's a Stage 1 except the Manaphy. Heavy Ball isn't always useful because it only grabs basic Pokemon, and that can be an issue, but at least it will get us any basics that are prized so we can evolve them up. So I found it to be quite useful, and only have 1 of. We got 4 copies of Nest Ball to get our basics out as fast as possible. 2 copies of Pokégear to help us search out some supporters that, you know, we might need. Like, we might need to recover Pokemon this turn, so we need to find that Miriam. We might need to accelerate energy this turn, so we might want to look out for that Gardenia. We might need a Shauna just to refresh our hand. So Pokégear is there to let us kind of pick and choose what support we need when we need it. But sadly they can whiff. So, yeah. We got 4 copies of Mesagoza because we do not want Path to the Peak to stick, as that can remove the ability from Spidops. Mesagoza also helps us search out Pokemon so that we can try to fill our field with as many Spidops as possible. And then we've got 2 copies of Ultra Ball. Not really. We have those to search out whatever we need, which is useful, and we only play 2 of them to try to minimize how much we're discarding willy-nilly. We really need a lot of the pieces of this deck for the deck to function. Unlike something like Dondozo, where you play excessive numbers of things so you can discard a bunch, this deck is very fragile in that sense, but we're able to make it a bit more consistent with Bibarel and everything. School Vet's probably a card to think about including here, but that's a bench sitter, takes up some valuable resources for you to have, you know, other Pokemon in play. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, moving on. We got 3 copies of Capturing Aroma because it can search out basics or evolutions depending on how you flip a coin. I found it very useful just to help flood out Pokemon as much as possible. That plus Mesagoza does mean you're flipping a lot of coins, but hey, sometimes that's fun. And then the previously mentioned 4 copies of Choice Belt, and that is Spidops EX. That's my version of Spidops anyways. So let's go ahead and test this deck so we can kind of show it in action right now, right? As I previously mentioned, I really liked this idea of Spidops. I think it does fairly well, but clearly there are some things that fall short on, where Leafeon could really help that reach new heights of damage output. I'm not sure how valuable that is compared to other elements of the deck. So let's see. We are starting with just Tarountula. Man, maybe one day, when the anime comes out, I'll actually know how to pronounce that Pokemon. Our AI opponent, Mulligans. Looks like we're playing against a new deck, or at least a Fusion Strike deck. Yeah, we will take a card. Ooh, another basic. Nice. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Yeah, a Fusion Strike box sort of deal here. Hopefully our guy does not get knocked out turn 1, but we will have to see. Trekking Shoes. Bibarel. Yes, we will take that. Trekking Shoes. Shauna. Yes, we will take that. Trekking Shoes. Grass Energy. I'm gonna... We've got Gardenia. Yeah, let's do that. We will take that into our hand so we can Gardenia's Vigor. Draw 2 cards. Oh, beautiful 2 cards. We'll attach that one there. Mesagoza. Mesagoza will let us flip a coin if heads, search for a Pokemon. Pretty useful. I would search out Bidoof. Yeah, let's go for that Bidoof right now. We got the Bibarel in hand, so let's just go for the Bidoof. And then we're going to Capturing Aroma because if we get Tails, I believe, is for a basic. We would want to play that down so it could evolve next turn. But no, we get the evolution. We'll grab another Spidops since we have the 2 Tarountulas out. And we will go ahead and surprise attack. Another coin flip. Can we get 3 heads in a row? We do for 30 damage. Not bad, not bad. And next turn, we are going to play down the 2 Spidops, play down the Bibarel, and maybe we'll use Bibarel to draw before, but eventually we will play the Shauna to refresh our hand and see what we might get. And that's why I'm really liking Shauna in the deck, or Youngster, because you're not having to discard valuable things. Like right now we'd be facing, like, do we want to discard Energy Retrieval right now where we might need it later on? We can just Shauna, it will go back into the deck, we'll get a brand new hand of 5, and we'll see how things go. They're removing our Mesagoza. That does hurt. It just hurts my feelings mostly. Let's see, what do we get? We get Spinarak. Now, we are not playing against a V-Star deck, so there's really no reason to set up the Spinarak. So we're just going to go ahead, evolve all these up, and I am going to Shauna before I Bibarel. Bibarel will have gotten us 2 cards. We'll see how many cards we can get after this. It looks like we're going to get to play everything in our hand. So we'll go ahead, play this, get another Tarountula back out. Heavy Ball, I think, is not going to get us anything. Yeah, so let's just look at our prizes. 2 Grass Energy, a Choice Belt, 2 Choice Belts. Okay. We do have a Grass Energy here. Now, do I attach it to the active and give up all hopes of getting a... we get heads, so we'll grab an evolution for next turn there. So, Capturing Aroma again. If we get heads, we'll just fail it, I think. Yeah, let's just fail this one. Done. Continue. We'll play down that Grass Energy onto the active so we can attack. I don't think the V-Guard Energy is going to be that major in this matchup. Mew VMAX, if they are getting the KO, they are just getting the KO. And we draw up, we get some okay cards, but we get another Shauna. So next turn, we will be able to Shauna and, get a brand new hand. Alright, so just the one. Okay. So Mew V in the active, Mew V has no retreat cost. So each Spidops adds 1 retreat cost. However, does this... As long as this card is attached to the Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. Prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to this Pokemon. So, sadly, Spidops does not work against a Fusion Strike Energy, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult for us in the long run. But let's go ahead and we will evolve that Spidops, attach a Choice Belt, attach the energy to the bench Spidops, taking the 20 from Old Cemetery. Okay. And we will go ahead and Shauna. Bibarel could have gotten us 1 card, but now Bibarel's going to get us a few more. So Nest Ball, I'm going to fail this Nest Ball, because then I can play the second Nest Ball, and that can get us a second Bidoof. And getting 2 Bibarels out is going to be nuts if we can actually pull that off. So let's go ahead. We will Bibarel first, draw up 4 cards. Ooh, we get a Vigor Energy, an Ultra Ball, we get Spidops. Let's go ahead and Mesagoza, and we might be able to just grab the Bibarel. We've been flipping a lot of heads. Okay, so we finally get a Tails, and we will just go ahead and attack for 190, KOing this Deoxys. One prize at a time right now. Yeah, the Mew V is going to be the tough one. Because it has free retreat, we really need Spidops to affect it. But with this being a Fusion Strike version, or Fusion Strike Energy version of the deck, it's going to be very difficult to affect it when they have that energy there. So Mesagoza, they search out a Genesect, and they play down Old Cemetery. So that's going to hurt when we play down this V-Guard energy. They are dragging up our Bibarel. We do know we have Escape Rope in the deck, though, so that's pretty handy. So let's go ahead and play down Spidops. We will play down V-Guard energy. No, well, yeah, we will, but first I'm going to discard Spinarak and Manaphy here. We will grab Bibarel. Gotta get that Ariados out of the deck, as it will not be useful here. And then we will V-Guard Energy this one. That doesn't have any damage on it yet. Old Cemetery will put 20 damage on it. Too bad, so sad. Bibarel, draw up. What do we have here? We have a Choice Belt that can go down onto the field. Energy Retrieval, a Mesagoza to get rid of that element. I could Ultra Ball right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. Let's Industrious Incisors here. We draw up. We do get the Escape Rope. What will they put into the active? I wonder. Oricorio. Interesting choice. We can easily one-hit KO this Oricorio here. And, yeah, we're doing 220 damage to it. Beautiful. That's what I like to see. Choice Belt. They put Meloetta into the active. Meloetta needs 2 energy to attack. They can't retreat so easily. So let's see how this all plays out. Mesagoza, they fail. We should have Mesagoza last turn, and we could have Boss's orders up the other Spidops because the AI doesn't know how to play cards. Quick Ball, that's not standard legal. I know it's a pre-built and all that stuff. I just like saying that. Alright. We get another Escape Rope. Beautiful. We're going to go ahead and Mesagoza. And grab the Ariados if we hit heads. Yes, we do. We will grab that Ariados. And I'm going to use the Ultra Ball to discard it. And the Mesagoza, I think. I think those are going to be the 2 cards I discard here. And obviously, we have nothing to search out for, and that's totally fine by me. And then we do have Bibarel. Let's go ahead and draw. We are getting pretty low on our deck here, so we don't want to be doing this too much. And that's the thing. We have sped through our deck so fast with what we've got going on here that we are close to decking ourselves out. We get Miriam here, which can recover all of our Pokemon that we've put in the discard and draws 3 cards. So kind of double whammy there. It can put 5 Pokemon from your discard into the deck. So if we get Spidops KO'd here, we can just go ahead and recover that with the other 3 cards and take us further away from being KO'd. Now, Genesect is, man, a little frustrating here, seeing how it has a Fusion Strike energy, and that is Fusion Strike, right? Not Aurora? That's Aurora. Never mind. We're doing fan-freaking-tastic. V-Guard energy down on that Spidops. And, man, I got nothing else to do. 270 damage from Wire Hang onto this Genesect, which is resistant, native 30. If they had a Fusion Strike Energy on there. Oh, that's Victory. That would have been a little rougher for us. It would have been probably 2-hit KO territory, with 2 retreat costs, 90 plus 60 minus 30. You're looking at 120 damage. 2-hit KO territory there, but that's with Fusion Strike Energy. That's the only way to really get in that way. And that is Spidops. It's only 4 Spidops, no Leafeon. Let me know if you think there should be a Leafeon, because, you know, there's reasonable reasons to have Leafeon in the deck, especially instead of the 1/1 Ariados line. But I just like that Ariados so much, and I thought it would be a fun way to mess with V-Star Pokemon. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing everywhere on this thing. And join the Discord so we can have more one-on-one interactions, and maybe you and I can play a game against each other, and I can upload that during the week that I'm taking a vacation. That would be nice. I really am looking forward to this vacation. It's been a long time since I've been out of the state. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. And of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.